Hello everybody, and welcome back to Screen Stars, and welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, what is there to say about Final Fantasy VII that hasn't been said by so many before me? All I'm really going to tell you is what that game meant to me. I played it originally on the PlayStation 1, and up to that point I had never played an RPG before, certainly a JRPG, Japanese RPG, and it blew my mind, that game. It introduced me to the world of RPGs. I played it to death over and over, and it was a very, very special game to me, and many others, and it developed my love for role-playing games on consoles. Now granted, as the years have gone on and I've matured, I haven't warmed as much to JRPGs. I kind of prefer Western RPGs, Skyrim, Witcher 3, things like that. I tend to lean a little bit more towards them. I find the JRPGs a little bit over the top and a little bit over dramatic, and I don't warm to them as much these days. However, when this was introduced several years ago, the kid in me just came alive, and I was so excited to hear about that this was getting a remake, and it so deserved it, because it is easily one of the greatest games of all time, Final Fantasy VII. So it is finally here, and I have been playing it to death, probably too much. Had very little sleep since it was released, and I'm in a position now to give you an in-depth look at this game and my thoughts on this game. I haven't just completed it yet, but I'm not a million miles away, I guess, and I just wanted to tell you what my thoughts are in relation to this game. Now, this game is, yes, it is a Final Fantasy VII remake, but it is not the full remake. As you will probably know if you followed this game, it is going to be sectioned off. I'm not sure how many other games there's going to be, probably 2 I'm guessing, but this is the first part of Final Fantasy VII, and this game is set completely in Midgar. Now, in the original game, it took you, I don't know, it's a few years since I've played Final Fantasy VII, about 5 hours to get out of Midgar, and then you progress through the story there. Well, this game, now I don't know, I'm probably about well over 20 hours into this game, but reports are, from things that I've read and seen, that you can complete this game at around the 30-35 hour mark, maybe between 35 and 40 hours depending on if you do all the side quests and things like that. So if each game kind of follows that pattern, let's say 30 hours, average it out for each game, you got, for the 3 games it's going to be a 90 hour experience, 100 hour experience, which kind of makes sense for huge RPGs. So yeah, you're not getting the full game here. What you're getting is like that first section of Final Fantasy VII spread out over 30 plus hours. So we're actually getting a completely different story in many aspects. I mean, it is still the base story. I mean, you basically are a mercenary cloud that joined these eco-terrorists, is the best way to describe them. They are called Avalanche, and they believe that this evil corporation is sucking the life out of the earth. I mean, very relevant these days, I suppose. And it's their job, these eco-terrorists, to blow up these massive power plants to stop them sucking all the energy out of the earth and, you know, help the planet. So you join these terrorists, these eco-terrorists, at the beginning as a mercenary. So you're only there for the money initially, and then as the story progresses you become far more entwined into this group, I think it's fair to say, and you have to confront your past. So the basic story here is the same as the first one. They've just really stretched it out over 30 hours, so you get lots of different aspects of the story. It's actually better in many ways because you learn more about these characters than you ever did in the first game, about their backstories and the people in your party, and it really gives these characters time to breathe, and you get to learn more about Midgar and stuff. So it's actually a clever move, I suppose. Now, in regards to how this game plays, much has been said about the new battle system here in this game. Now, the first Final Fantasy VII game was turn-based, and here it's not turn-based, strictly speaking. However, you can pause the action at any time with the X button. And give commands, whether it be potions for yourself or your party, abilities, spells, even summons. You can pause it at any time and rethink your strategy, and that works really well, actually much better than you might actually expect. So it pleases both people. It pleases those that like turn-based, I think, and it pleases those that like the more full-on action RPGs. So it's a very clever thing that they've done. They've been very respectful to the original in many ways in regards to how they approach using putting the materia and stuff in your weapons. Very reminiscent of the first game. They've managed to update that for a new generation of Final Fantasy fans, if you like. So they've managed to be respectful to the original, but really bring it in to this new generation of gamers, and I think they've done it incredibly successfully, in my opinion. The graphics are at times completely stunning. I mean, mind-blowingly good, the graphics at times, and so it really does take your breath away. It looks absolutely stunning, this game, for the most part, and I can't really give you many criticisms. There are some times when the frame rate drops, for example, and the graphics don't look just as impressive, like on doors and things like that, and then when you get up close to certain things, and some character models look far better than others. I think Cloud and all the main ones look great, but people like Wedge and what have you, I think, look a bit last gen at times. So it is a little bit hit and miss here and there, but for the most part it's a stunningly breathtaking game to look at. I just think it's absolutely a beautiful game. So it's covering all the bases here. This game is respectful to the original, but it's giving a fresh perspective on the story, and I think this could bring a whole new legion of fans to this game, but also the previous game, because it's made me certainly want to play the original Final Fantasy VII again, and I probably haven't played it for 10 years, I'm guessing. I'm not sure how it's dated. It might still play brilliantly. I recently bought and played the Final Fantasy VII re-release. It re-released it on PlayStation 4, and I found that to be quite a bit dated compared to obviously modern day RPGs. So I'm not sure how Final Fantasy VII will feel if I decide to play that again. But I digress a little bit. I think this game is wonderfully entertaining. It's not without its problems in some ways. I mean, you could describe this game as quite linear. I mean, it's set out in chapters, and you will make your way through the chapters. Now, some chapters are quite linear, and you'll get from the beginning and end of that chapter with just following one path. And there are other sections where it is quite linear, but it's more open world. It's not open world, it's like an open hub is the best way to describe it. And you can go around and do all these little side missions in this hub, and then the next chapter again might be quite linear, like point A to point B sort of thing. So I actually don't mind that so much. It keeps it a little bit more focused, because as much as I like Final Fantasy 15, that was too open, way too open. And I don't think they just got that one right. This balances it, I think, a little bit better in regards to that. But some might complain that it is too linear and too focused in that sense, and it doesn't feel like you're given an awful lot of freedom. I think it does it okay. The dialogue and the voice acting is, as you would expect, it's top quality, but a little bit over the top and a little bit over dramatic at times, but it's a JRPG, of course it's going to be like that. But it's an outstanding game. I think it's a wonderful success. I'm giving it a very strong 9 out of 10. And I think certainly if you're a fan of the original, and even if you've never played it but you're a fan of RPGs, this is an essential buy. Thank you very much for watching.